Well, have you heard of the most amazing seaweed rolls? The girl, in gratitude for Ming's kindness, specially made this seaweed roll for him. Ming took a big bite, and his face said it all. What a flavor fest! That flavor danced in his mouth, and Ming recalled the girl's focus and purity from yesterday, feeling like a warm ray of sunshine brightened his heart. All he wished for was to see the girl again. It's such a sweet and simple wish. As a result, the very next day, the girl arrived at the security room with the speed of light. They were watching TV together just like yesterday when a thought crossed the girl's mind. And suddenly she asked Ming, "Hey, did you just exercise?" Even though she couldn't see him, the scent lingering in the air convinced her of his remarkable athletic ability. Ming was caught off guard and turned as red as a little tomato. He quickly looked down and slipped on those ragged shoes. Although Jiazi didn't mind, she kept chatting away about the mind-boggling show they were watching. Ming thought about making an excuse to step out and wash his feet, because good times seemed to vanish in the blink of an eye, and suddenly it was time to say. Jiazi smiled and waved, while Ming was nervous as a deer, responding awkwardly. Terrified that she might see his excitement and reluctance, he hurriedly pulled back his clenched fist. The past pain was like an uninvited guest who wouldn't leave his heart in peace. Once upon a time, Ming was a super cool boxer, and to make some extra cash, he moonlighted as a collections guy for those who were dodging their debts. The moment debtors heard Ming's name, they forked over the cash like it was a magic spell working. But there's always karma. During one of his collections, he pushed a man to the brink, and the desperate guy decided to self-ignite, then gracefully leaped off the building like he was auditioning for a stunt double. Although Ming caught him at the last moment, the flames were too hot to handle, forcing him to let go. The outcome? A 4-year vacation, and that's why he hates talking about the past. After that handshake goodbye, he became obsessed with personal hygiene, opening windows to air out every morning. He occasionally glanced at the street corner, quietly closed his eyes, waiting for that special someone, until he heard the familiar tap-tap of the cane. He knew the wonderful girl had arrived, and seeing Jiazi tearing up over the TV drama, Ming's heart melted again like butter on toast. After the movie ended, Jiazi prepared to leave, and Ming was filled with reluctance and longing. But poor Jiazi, who had difficulty walking, was suddenly knocked over by a speeding car, and she ended up taking a tumble that knocked over a nearby bottle of wine. Ming rushed over to help Jiazi up, but when he saw her foot cut by the glass, he whisked her off to the hospital for a bandage. Under the dim street light, Jiazi reached out to find Ming and gently leaned against his sturdy back. Even though Ming's breath began to quicken, he still wished the road ahead could stretch just a bit further. Jiazi pointed ahead, and lo and behold, it was a long, steep staircase. The sunflower patterns on the stairs radiated warmth like an aroma of love wafting through the air. For this girl, Ming was ready to charge ahead, even while panting like he just ran a marathon. Quit never crossed his mind. Suddenly, a mischievous little boy came running up, and out of nowhere, Ming received a 1,000-year kill, nearly toppling him over. Facing this unexpected shock, Ming really felt overwhelmed. Finally, under the kid's supervision, Ming safely brought Jiazi home. To show her gratitude, she offered him 2 concert tickets, but he flat out turned them down. It wasn't that he didn't want to accept something nice. The bright stairway still felt warm and fuzzy. His steps became as light as walking on clouds, filled with dreams and fantasies about tomorrow. On the next day, Jiazi meticulously prepared for the special date, getting a trendy wavy hairstyle at the salon. She delicately applied pink lipstick, donned a floral skirt, and sprayed delightful perfume. The moment Ming saw Jiazi open the door, he was instantly blown away by her playful charm and beauty. It was a stunning wave of prettiness. During the concert, Jiazi listened quietly while Ming couldn't take his eyes off her. To him, it felt like she was his whole universe. After the concert, they headed to a cozy bar, and Jiazi gradually opened up her heart to Ming. She shared with him how a tragic car accident took away her parents, plunging her world into darkness. Ming listened quietly, his face revealing deep compassion, until, unexpectedly, Jiazu uttered something that abruptly shattered the warm and loving atmosphere entirely. He never expected her to seem so distant, and in his panic, he could only choose to walk away. Ming realized he had misspoken, but ultimately, he quietly escorted her home. At the very moment when Jiazu turned to enter her door, he finally found the courage to speak his heart out. From that moment on, they slipped back into being like strangers again. Jiazu walked past the security room without halting again. It was like their story was stuck on pause. The future was uncertain. Jiazu continued her daily grind, occasionally summoned by her boss. Little did she know, after a day of putting up with it, he followed her home that night, and this unwelcome guest barged into her house. Came to gift her, tried to put it on, but she strongly resisted. And then, at that moment, the door swung open, and in walked Ming, who had come to apologize. Seeing his beloved girl being mistreated filled him with an immediate, uncontrollable rage. He could no longer hold back his emotions, and gave the perverted boss a solid beating. He pinned the scumbag against the wall, lost in rage, but luckily a familiar call snapped him back to reality. Though Ming let him go, he still gave the jerk a final warning. Upon seeing Jiazu's startled expression, his heart ached to comfort her, but he was interrupted.